Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with another fantastic live stream here from the Panhandle of Florida. It is a few minutes, about 1 minute to 6 p.m. Central Time, November 1st, 2025. So October has gone. No more October. I got my Venezuelan hat on, and Karina is with her friends. So I'm doing this by myself today. And we hope you're doing well. We hope everybody's doing well and not stressing the process. Now, remember, if you move, you got to notify USCIS. If you leave this place and move to this place and you're in the middle of a green card application, don't be surprised if your green card gets mailed to the old address. So make sure you notify USCIS where you move to within 10 days, and also make sure you notify the post office of your new forwarding address. Very important. Now remember, forwarding addresses expire after a certain amount of time. So, my advice is don't move while you're in the middle of a green card application. If you're waiting for your green card, you're waiting for your work permit, don't move. Maru, happy Saturday, Diego and Karina. Maru, what's going on? How's everybody? How's your fiance in Cameroon? I hope he's doing well and hanging in there. It's another month past. October's gone. And now we are into November. And November, no doubt, will go by just as quick. And then it's Christmas. And then it's going to be New Year's. And then you're going to get your NOA2 letter. Maru? Not much longer, okay? January, February, you should get your notice of action 2 letter. And then all you got to do is wait for the MVC to get it, the K1 visa application. And then when the MVC get it, they'll call the embassy in Cameroon, and then they'll send it to Cameroon. Maru, he is going well, and we are waiting patiently. Yeah, you got to be patient, like patience. You got to wait. It's a waiting game, but you can do it. Not much longer. You're going to get through this, and then you'll be reunited, and everything's going to be great. Okay, so hang in there. Now, the folks that have been members of this channel for 4 months or longer, tomorrow I'm going to be shipping out the coffee to you guys. Okay, so the coffee, I think I got cat stuff on me here. So tomorrow, the folks who have been members of this channel for 4 months or longer and sent me or text Karina your address, tomorrow I'm going to be shipping out the coffee to you guys, okay? So that's something to look forward to while you're going through this crazy immigration process. But the time's going by pretty quick. And, it's not a fun process, but what I learned today is also that you can file online to lift the conditions for your 2-year green card to your 10-year green card. You can file online now to do that. And it's $700 to file online and $750 if you file by paper. But I still recommend you file by paper. Okay? This online application for lifting conditions off of a 2-year green card is in its infancy. It's still new. So they haven't got all the bugs out yet. It's kind of like when a car company come out with a brand new car, okay? It's never been sold before, and they come out with this brand new car, and then people buy it, and then all the bugs show up. Then everybody's taking it back to the shop for the warranty work, trying to get the bugs out of the car, okay? Because it's always the same. You don't want to buy a car that's brand new right off the bat. If you want to buy a brand new car, buy one that's been in production for a couple of years, and all the warranty work is all the errors and the mistakes have been fixed. So even though immigration has a way now to file online for your 10-year green card from a 2-year green card, even though it's $50 cheaper, I strongly recommend you still right now wait until the bugs get out of their computer networks, because anything new is going to have issues. So let other people try it first. I'm not going to file online for Karina's 10-year green card. I'm going to file the old-fashioned way with paper. Okay? And then that way they have a book to look at that they can read through. So I don't know. It's up to you guys, but I would wait for the bugs to get out of their online processing. Because what if they lose something? What if the system crashes? What if you don't have a USCIS online account? It's a lot of things you got to think about. So anyway, it is what it is. So the news today is that you can now file online to lift the conditions off of your 2-year green card. But I don't recommend you do that yet. Cornell Rivers. Hello, Cornell. What's going on? How's everything? We hope you're doing well. We know Maru is doing well. She's waiting patiently. Cornell's hanging in there. And Karina, she went to spend some time with her friends. She's been working hard all week, and she even worked today. So she's out. She just decided she needed a break. Cornell, what's pretty good. Well, that's good to hear. No problem. We're glad to hear that. I do the live stream to try to keep you up to date on the latest and greatest with immigration. I'm always on top of it. I know what's going on pretty much around the world with different embassies and consulates. The busiest embassies and the busiest consulates are the Philippines, India, Colombia is busy also. So, be patient if you're in one of those countries, India, Colombia, or the Philippines. But the immigration's doing the best they can considering the workload that they have and the responsibilities they have in order to ensure that you get your K-1 visa approved or your green card. Okay? Now, if you are a person from Syria or from Afghanistan, it doesn't matter what country it is, okay? If you are going through a K-1 visa, you're going to go to your K-1 visa interview at the embassy that's not in Iraq or that's not in Syria or Afghanistan, and you're going to get denied at the interview. Let's suppose you're from Afghanistan and you go to your K-1 visa interview in Turkey or United Arab Emirates, for example, and you're from Afghanistan. Your K-1 visa is going to get denied. Okay? That's what's going on right now. Those countries are being blocked from non-immigrant visas. And a K-1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. When you get to the United States, then you apply for the 2-year green card, then you apply for immigrant status. Okay? Which explains why you only have to meet 100% of the minimum income requirements for the K-1 visa interview at the embassy, but you have to be at 125% for the green card. So the secret to this whole deal is make sure that your sponsor makes more than enough money above the minimum income of 125% for the family size. And if you live in Alaska or if you live in Hawaii, it's even more money. It costs even more money. Your sponsor has to make a ton more money because those are expensive places to live. Alaska has to ship everything in by air. Hawaii has to ship everything in by air. So the prices of goods and services are very expensive because of the shipping costs. So if you live in Alaska, Hawaii, you're a U.S. citizen applying for a K-1 visa. You know that you have to make more money than what is required from the folks that live in the other 48 states. It's just part of the deal of doing business with USCIS, And I don't have any control over that. I wish I could help you guys out, but I don't have control. All I can do is give you advice and information. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you legal advice, and I don't work for USCIS, but I got 12 years experience processing K-1 visas and green cards. I've helped so many people get their K-1 visas and get their green cards. I helped one person whose green card was denied because his sponsor messed up the 864, the affidavit of support. Remember, if you are filing for a green card for your beneficiary, you got married within 90 days, and you're filing for the 2-year green card, you cannot make any mistakes on the paperwork. No mistakes, okay? Because especially with the affidavit of support on the financial side, if your sponsor doesn't know how to fill out an I-864, then your sponsor needs to learn. And don't just guess. Don't file your 2-year green card application knowing that you've guessed some of the stuff in the paperwork. Because when you guess, you lose. You can't do that. You have to know exactly what you're doing, okay? You got to know what you're doing. You cannot, right now, you can't make any mistakes. There's a zero tolerance. But what's going to happen is the people that do know what they're doing, they do understand how to process a green card. Folks like you guys, you know how to do this, then you're not going to have any issues. But there are lots of people out there that get in a hurry. They don't know how to fill out the paperwork because they just don't want to learn how to do it. And that kind of frustrates me because it's not difficult to do it. It's pretty easy to file K1. The I-129F is an easy form to fill out, but people just get in a big hurry, or they don't have enough evidence to show their relationship is real. Well, they can't prove it. They can't prove that they're really in a real relationship, or they forget to include documents like certified copies of divorce decrees if you're divorced, or certified copies of death certificates or annulments. Okay, you can't. I say this on every live stream. If you have a divorce in your past, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Move on with your life. But if you've met somebody else, you have to include a certified copy of your divorce decree from the courthouse. You cannot go to Office Depot and make a copy. Larry Piercy, were we off Wednesday? Yeah, I took Wednesday off. I'm trying to figure out why we took off Wednesday. I think we had to go do something, and we were too far away to get home in time. We went, and we were too far away, so we couldn't get home in time. But the good news is, Karina has received her first shipment of coffee from Colombia via our roaster. So I'll give you a look at it. You guys get a first look at it. This is the bag that Karina designed. So this is the coffee now, and this is the ground coffee right here, and that's the design of our bag. It's black with gold, and then this is the beans. Okay, black with gold. It's like a gold thing on the top. So, if you've been a member of this channel for 4 months or longer, you've been consistently supporting the channel, Karina will send you a free bag of coffee. And if you don't want coffee, she'll send you a mug. She's got her own mug line too. So, and we got a website development going on. We got a person designing a website for Karina, and then we'll go live in 2026, January, February, probably January. But right now, we're just going to give coffee away to the folks on YouTube who have been members of this channel for for 4 months or longer. We just give you a bag of coffee. It's pretty good. The design came out real good, and there's a little blurb about Karina on the back of the packet. And this is her own brand of coffee that came out of Medellin. The coffee comes from Medellin in Colombia. We're not going to deal with Indonesian coffee or Brazil or Central America. We're just going to keep it simple, and we're going to focus just on one country because that's where we lived for such a long time. Karina lived in Colombia for 6 years, and she, became her second home. And the people of Colombia, they helped her big time. Before she met me, we dated each other for 3 years in Colombia, but before she met me, she was on her own in Colombia, by herself in a little apartment. And she's a strong lady, let me tell you. She's a survivor. Larry Piercy, I thought I was off a day. No, today's Saturday, right? And Larry Piercy, the bag looks great, Diego. Yeah, I think Karina did a pretty good job on designing these things. So we got beans, and we have roasted. So we're going to send them out. I'm going to ship them out tomorrow to those folks who sent Karina your address, and you are a member of this channel. If you sent Karina the address, tomorrow I'm going to send out the coffee to you, and it's going to go UPS, okay? Because it's the closest. The UPS is the closest to us. And I'm also going to be printing T-shirts. You see this T-shirt right here is got nothing on it, right? Well, I'm going to go back to printing T-shirts again with Karina's coffee company on it, so we can give away T-shirts too. I already got the machine and everything. But the immigration process is, people say it's slowing down. It's really not going to get any slower. The immigration process is going along just like normal. Immigration is adjudicating K-1 visas and green cards and 2-year green cards and 10-year green cards. U.S. citizenship people are getting in line and getting processed for U.S. citizenship, which is what I recommend you do. Become a citizen of this great country, and you don't have to mess with immigration anymore. You don't have to fill out any more paperwork. Wouldn't that be good? So Karina's going to be applying for her 10-year green card March 31st of 2026. We figured March 31st, maybe April 1st, but I don't think I want to push a lot. April 1st, being that's April Fool's Day. So March 31 is when we're going to ship out her 10-year green card package. But we're going to send it in the mail. You can do it online. You can now file for 10-year green card. You can now lift the conditions off of your 2-year green card to a 10-year green card online. But like I said previously in the live stream, whenever a car company comes out with a new car, let everybody else buy it first and see what the problems are with it before you go ahead and buy one. Or always buy a brand new design in the second year. Then that gives the owners of the first year to figure out what all the freaking problems are. The same is true with the USCIS website. When they come up with something new where you can do something online, let everybody else try it first and see how it works out. Larry Piercy, how do you do it online? How do I do what online? What, sell the coffee? Well, we got a website designer building a website. I mean, I figured out how to put a YouTube channel together, and I put this YouTube channel together in Colombia, in Bogota, on a laptop. How do you do it online? The 10-year green card. You're going to have to upload documents. It's going to be a real pain in the rear. You're going to upload documents, okay? And then you're going to have to depend on immigration accepting the documents. It's like applying for a spousal visa online through the NVC. It's a real pain. Okay, I'm not going to do that. But if you go on to the USCIS website, you can go to uscis.gov. Go into here, right here. Let me write it down here. If you go into here, uscis.gov/forms. And then type in I-751, look for I-751. That's the form you use to lift the conditions off of your 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, which you've got to do 90 days before it expires, within 90 days before it expires. Now, they now give the option to do it online. If you do it online, it's going to be $700. This is online, right? If you file by paper, which is what we're going to do, it's $750. I'd rather pay the extra $50 and know it's not going to get messed up. Larry Piercy, do you apply for the renewal of a 10-year green card the same 90 days? No. When you get your 10-year green card, when Moggy gets her 10-year green card, when Karina gets her 10-year green card, you just have to apply. You need to apply to renew it 6 months before it expires. You could wait up to the last minute, or you could even let it expire and go, oops, I forgot. If you have a 10-year green card and it expires and you forgot to renew it, you're not going to get deported. Immigration's not going to come knocking on your door because you're still a legal permanent resident. It's the card that's expired, not your status. The card just is not your status, okay? So what happens on a 10-year green card is you need to renew it at least 6 months before it expires. So that gives immigration plenty of time to process it, okay? But there's no 90 days or you'll be deported. When you get a 10-year green card, you don't have to renew it 90 days before it expires, okay? You can do it the day it expires, the day before it expires, a week before it expires. But I recommend if you're renewing a 10-year green card on a Form I-90, do it 6 months before. But there's no big baseball bat hanging over your head, which is going to come down on your head if you don't follow any instructions from USCIS. That only applies to the 2-year green card. Larry Piercy, 6 months, gotcha. I will be only 88 years old, young, just getting my second win. 88. Yeah. Look, my dad is 85, I think, but he looks like he's 60, and he's works 6 days a week. I mean, if you live life good, if you eat properly, if you don't drink a bunch of Coca-Cola and Mountain Dew like I was for a long time, you're going to live a long time. I mean, it just depends on how you treat your body, right? Or, look both ways when crossing the freaking road, and don't ride a bicycle at night without a helmet and any reflectors. Larry Piercy, will they say anything then about out of country for less than a year? Well, who is they? USCIS? Will they say anything then about out of country for less than a year? You don't want to leave the United States when you get to the United States of America and you get your 2-year green card, you get your 10-year green card, you need to stay here. You didn't get a green card to be a tourist. People get green cards to live and work and live in America, live and be permanent residents. Karina, when she came to the United States, she wanted to be with me. Okay? She didn't want to be on a green card for a tourist, as a tourist, so she could fly to Colombia every 3 months. We really don't have much interest in going anywhere other than hanging out here. And, maybe in a few years, once she's been a U.S. citizen, we'll take a trip, hopefully to Venezuela, if the United States Navy does its job in the next few weeks, which is what, a lot of Karina, my beautiful wife, is from Venezuela. She was born and raised in Caracas, Venezuela. She's got a degree in tax accounting. And she lost everything when the communists took over Venezuela. Chavez and Maduro have destroyed that country. Okay? And the United States Navy is fixing to liberate that country from that communist dictator. I've got a feeling. Maduro probably needs to find someplace else to live other than where he is, because he's wanted by the United States government, and there's a $50 million bounty on his head. I still can't believe he's still in Venezuela, honestly. So my wife's family, who all relocated to Colombia, most of them anyway, are now slowly trickling back into Venezuela because they're waiting for President Trump to initiate the liberation of their country. 80% of Venezuelans want Maduro gone. 20% voted for him. 80% didn't vote for him. But he's still in office. So it's a massive fraud. He's nothing but a bus driver playing at president. Larry Piercy, 10-year green card, Diego, I want to live out of the country for 6 months. Why do you want to live out of the country for 6 months? I lived in Colombia for 3 years, and it was a great experience. When I was in the United States Navy, I lived in Italy for 6 years. I lived in Sicily for 3 years. I lived in Sardinia for 3 years. I lived in Colombia for 3 years. When my dad was in the military, I was a young child living in Malta for 2 years, a little island in the Mediterranean. I lived in England for 5+ years, longer. I'm so glad to live in America. Larry Piercy, he is definitely going to need a new job, and Trump is probably going to shut Nigeria off. Well, don't be surprised that the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria closes down its K-1 visa processing. You want to leave the country because you want to get away from the Democrats. No, you don't. The Democrats are leaving the country because they want to get away from Trump. So let them leave. I don't even see the Democrat Party as a party anymore. It's the Communist Party of the United States. The Democrat Party doesn't exist anymore like it used to be under John F. Kennedy. It's a freaking Communist Party. If that guy gets elected the mayor of New York, the Ugandan communist Muslim is what he is. Now, I don't care what his religion is. I'm just saying what he is. He's a Muslim from Uganda who's a naturalized American who's a full-blown Marxist communist. And the people of New York don't understand. They don't see this. So he's going to be history. If he gets elected the the mayor of New York City, all big business in New York's going to leave. They're all going to relocate to Florida, Texas, Nevada. They're out of there. Wall Street, I don't know what's going to happen to Wall Street if this guy Mamadi gets elected the mayor of New York. I don't know what's going to happen. He wants to communize New York City. He wants to turn New York City into a Marxist state, just like Caracas, Venezuela. And you see how it worked out for the people of Venezuela, right? Bad news, we will talk. Nah, Larry, hang in there. Don't leave the United States because of Democrats. Don't do that. I'm not going to let those. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm independent. I'm a constitutionalist, but I'm not going to be run out of my own country by these communists. I like watching them leave, like Rosie O'Donnell, right? Didn't she relocate to Ireland? That's a good place for her, right? Larry Piercy, there's already a Wall Street in Miami. Yeah, Miami's going to be the next financial hub of the world if that Mamdani, whatever the heck his name is, gets elected mayor of New York. I miss Giuliani, Rudolph Giuliani. He was a great mayor of New York. He cleaned up that city. Larry Piercy, Dems are causing me to stroke out. No, come on, Larry, don't let them get to you. Just understand that's who they are. They're not Democrats. The Democrat Party is no longer in existence. And there are Republicans that support what they do also. So the Republican Party is pretty much not doing what it's supposed to do. You're a highly strong Marine. Well, yeah. I was in the Navy for 20 years. Now I'm doing a YouTube channel on how to process K-1 visas. And it's been very successful in helping people. What I like about this channel is there's not like 150,000 people on one live stream. I just get a small group of people that want to listen to what I got to say and learn how to do this. I got a small class. And a small class usually gets better results, right? A small class gets better results. If you're in a private school, so just consider this as a private school for you guys. And then after I publish the live stream, about 100 people will watch what I've got to say over the next 30 minutes or so. Yeah, that's 5 people watching. That's okay. But about 100 people will watch it. Now, in the past, about 2 years ago, I'd make a video, and 1,500 people would watch it. But now it's a small class. Either people have got their green cards and they don't need my help anymore. They've got their K-1 visas. They don't need my help anymore. That's good. And Larry Piercy, we need more freshmen for K-1. Yeah, we need a freshman class for K-1. But I'll keep on doing the live streams as long as you guys still need me to help you. And I've got 34 members now on the channel. So there's 34 members of the channel who have my phone number and email. So as a member of the channel, don't be afraid to call me or text me or email me because I'm here to help you. Remember, I'm retired now. I got nothing else better to do than work in the yard and help you get your green cards. And now I'm helping Karina run this coffee company that we're going to start in January. So I got the coffee. Here's the coffee bags. Here's what they look like. Pretty good, 12 ounces. 350 grams of roasted and beans. And it smells pretty good too. And this coffee is coming from Colombia, Medellin, 5,000 feet above sea level from one specific coffee farm. So that way, when we keep the coffee shipped from one coffee farm from one particular altitude, the flavor is not going to change. So if people like the flavor of the coffee, they know it's going to be the same. If they buy another bag, it's not going to change. But with that said, I'm going to be, and by the way, I'm going to be selling the coffee at $20 a bag. $20. That's how much we're going to sell the coffee for, plus the shipping. Unless you live locally, then I'll deliver it to you. But it's $20 for a bag of coffee. So, and we're going to be selling T-shirts and coffee mugs, but members of the channel will get that stuff. We're going to give you stuff like that for free. Tomorrow, I'm going to be shipping out coffee to people who gave me their address. And if you like beans or roasted, tell me which one you prefer. And then I'll send it to you tomorrow. It's going out UPS tomorrow. This coffee right here. I like the design. Karina did pretty good. I mean, she designed it gold and black. I can't do the Mountain Dew salutes because I can't drink Mountain Dew anymore. So I got the empty can of Mountain Dew, and Pepsi doesn't pay me to say that. If you want me to help you fill out your K1 visa application, I can do that. If you want me to help you fill out your green card application, I can do that. If you want me to help you do a spousal visa, I can do that too. I've done all this. I've been there and done that for the last 12 years. That's basically what I've been doing as a part-time, something to do to help people. Even when I was working for Mercedes-Benz, I was helping people with their green cards and their K1 visas. So, but back then I didn't have a channel. I didn't have a live stream. I didn't do YouTube. I would just sit down with them and go over the paperwork with them and help them. I just didn't have this kind of technology. YouTube technology is good, isn't it? I mean, I got a camera, a microphone, and the service, the YouTube service I can use to give you all this info for free. I think what happens is that YouTube will run commercials during the 1 hour of the live stream. They'll run commercials, but that's how they pay for the channel, or pay for the time, right? For the server use. Because nothing runs for free. So I'm just glad to be here and give you the information. Whenever something changes with immigration, you're going to hear it here first. Remember, when you pay for your green card now and your K1 visa, you have to use Form G1650. This is for the debit transaction. You got to use this form right here. And once you fill out the Form G1650 to mail off your green card application or K1 visa application, you cannot use a check anymore. There's no more checks, no more personal checks, no more cashiers, no more money orders. Everything's on the G1650 or the G1450. Now the G1450 is for the credit card, right? The G1450 is for the credit card, but I don't recommend you do that because credit card and banks have been blocking those transactions pretty much. So fill out Form G1650, go to your bank with the form, show the teller, hey, I'm going to go to the clerk or whatever at the bank and say I want to make sure that you don't block this transaction from USCIS because in my case, I'll fill out Form G1650. I'll go to the bank with Karina and give them a copy of the form and say, look, I'm fixing to give USCIS permission to withdraw $750 from my checking account. Make sure you don't block the transaction. And they'll go in their computer and make a note of it. And there's like a code on the form. And then that way, I don't have to worry about, USIS not getting paid. But there's lots of people, they're trying to get the points on their credit cards. Oh yeah, $1,440. I'll get some nice points for that. But the banks are blocking the transactions. So don't use your freaking credit card. Use the form G1650. Give them your savings account number or your checking account number, and then write in the block there how much it is you'll give them permission to USIS to take out of your checking account. In the case of us, for Karina and I, it'd be $750. That's how much it costs to file on with the paper version for the lifting the conditions. If you need me to help you fill out all this paperwork, I can do that. There's people who are members of this channel. They send me a screenshot of the paperwork they're filling out because they're not quite sure if they're right, if it's correct or not. And I'll review it, and then I'll fix any mistakes. I'll circle it and send it back to them with the correction, and then I delete it from my phone, and then I shred it using an AVG shredder. So if you remember the channel and you send me paperwork and you want me to review it, once I've reviewed it and sent it back to you, whether it's in an email or on my phone, I then delete it and shred it so the information is destroyed. Okay? So whatever you tell me stays with me also. So that's the reason for this channel, is to help you get your green card and your K1 visa approved. But you got to qualify for the benefit. You got to make enough money. You got to be gainfully employed, right? You have to be in a real relationship. You should have met each other at least twice. I made 5 trips to Colombia, and I lived there for almost 3 years. When we filed for Karina's K1 visa application, I mean, it was just it was like 3 sets of boarding passes, hotel receipts, rent receipts, because we rented an apartment together in Bogota. So I had my name and her name on the rent of the apartment. So her K1 visa got approved, but because she was from Venezuela, they gave her a lot of questions at the scary visa interview in Bogota. They gave her about 12 questions because she's from Venezuela living in Colombia. They just wanted to make sure, why are you in Colombia? Why aren't you in Venezuela? Well, she didn't want to live under that communist dictator, Maduro. So she got the heck out of there, and she moved to Colombia. And I'm glad she did, because that's how we met each other and dated each other for 3 years. And then we got married here in Florida, and then we filed for her 2-year green card, and she got it in just over 3 months without an interview, because of the evidence was overwhelming of our relationship. I mean, we've been together for a long time. And that's what immigration is looking for. If you've only known somebody for a couple of weeks and you've only met them once and you file for a K1 visa, don't be surprised if your K1 visa gets denied or they send you a letter requesting further evidence. So if you filed for a K1 visa and you've only met each other once, you need to be getting on a plane going back to wherever country she lives in or he lives in for a second visit. So you got the evidence of a second visit once you get the letter from immigration for the RFE. Well, you've only met each other once and you only spent a week together. How in the heck are you in a relationship? Well, we've been online chatting for 6 months. Really? You think that's going to fly? You got to be in a relationship. You got to know everything about each other. I know everything about Karina. I've met her brothers. Her family's my family. I mean, I spoke to her mom on the phone in WhatsApp in Venezuela, and she's, her mom's great. Good person. We just hope that we just want Venezuela to get free here soon. Venezuela is going to be a free country, hopefully before Christmas. And that's all we can hope for the people of Venezuela, so that they can go home. You got about 8 to 10 million Venezuelans that live in Colombia, Brazil, Paraguay, Bolivia, Ecuador, because they can't live in Venezuela under communism. Watch what happens to New York City if that guy gets elected mayor of New York, the Marxist communist from Uganda, playing it American. Okay? If he gets elected mayor of New York City is going to close. All of the capitalists that run New York City, they're all going to leave. Most of them anyway. Seriously, watch what happens. New York's going to turn into Caracas. Everybody's going to leave. And Florida's going to benefit because all the people with the money in New York are going to probably come to Florida because it's the closest place, or Texas. So it's, I don't even know how he became a naturalized American. I don't see how he became a naturalized American with his communist Marxist ideology. How did he do that? It really needs to be investigated. But who am I to say, right? I'm just an old retired Navy guy giving you guys information about K-1 visas and green cards. Because I know how to do this in my sleep. My interest is in extraterrestrials and aliens and, Bob Lazar and Coast to Coast with George Norrie. That's the kind of stuff I'm into, But I would much, I could probably do a great channel on extraterrestrials. And I put together the J-Rod files right here. But I've only made like 3 videos because I'm more concerned about helping these folks who watch this video get their green cards and K-1 visas instead of me trying to give a story about the J-Rod files. So I'm more concerned about helping people get family reunification. That's what I do this for. I started the live streams in Bogota, Colombia with Karina. And I had to figure out a laptop that was all in Spanish. I had to figure out the connection for the internet, right? And the lights and everything in an apartment in the Andes Mountains. And I figured it out. So whatever it is you're trying to do in your life, besides your K-1 and green card, is you can figure it out. Whatever it is you want to do, you can figure it out and you can do it. I have no doubt. If I can do this from when I started in Colombia, I can do anything pretty much. I mean, I built a deck in the backyard by watching a YouTube video. Saved me $6,000 from paying a contractor. I mean, it's amazing what you can do if you just put your mind to it. So anyway, I want to see you succeed. I want to see you get your green cards and your K-1 visas. And I know how to do this. I've been doing it for so long. And and immigration will send me emails when they update stuff. I get an email from immigration telling me this has changed, or this has changed, or this is new, this is new. Like today, I learned that you can file online for your 10-year green card if you're lifting the conditions off of a 2-year green card. But let other people do that. See if that system actually works, because you're dealing with your beneficiary's future in the United States on a new system, right? I feel I have the utmost respect for the test pilots. The test pilots that went out and learned how to fly the stealth fighter jets, the F-35s, even going back to the early days of U.S. aviation, naval aviation with the Phantom. Somebody had to be the first person to fly that plane, right? And figure out what the bugs were in it. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to file for Karina's 10-year green card online. I'm going to file the old-fashioned way with paper, all the evidence in a big binder. And if other people want to file online, let them do it. But there's going to be bugs in the system. There's going to be mistakes and there's going to be errors. And then your beneficiary, he or she is going to be up the creek wondering what the heck's going on with their green card. So I'm going to wait for the bugs to get out of the system first. Okay? That's my opinion. Maybe they hired the best computer programmers in the world. But I used to I programmed computers when I was in the Navy. Okay? When I was on a ship in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea, I was programming computers. And you got to run the systems and get the bugs out, because it's not going to run correctly the first time or the second time or the third time. Look at Elon Musk. How many mistakes has happened? I wouldn't say mistakes. How many lessons has he experienced trying to launch rockets into space? How many blew up? Quite a few, right? But now he's perfected it. So the same is true with this new online application for a 10-year green card. Let people figure out what the bugs are in it first. But you guys watching this channel, it's not a big group of people. You just listen to me, pay attention to Diego, and I will protect you from any mistakes on your 10-year green card application. All right? That's just my opinion. I'm gonna, when I get off this live stream, I'm gonna go watch to see what's going on with Venezuela, because Karina's family has trickled back to Venezuela. They're up in the mountains. I kind of recommend they don't move to the city right now. Stay far away from the presidential palace of Maduro, the bus driver who thinks he's the president. Stay away from there and go climb up to go up in the mountains with the binoculars and take a look at the USS Gerald R. Ford, I think is the big aircraft carrier, and the carrier battle group that's sitting off the coast of Venezuela. And Maduro is trying to figure out what to do. And he's calling his buddies in Russia and China and Iran. And I don't think they're going to help him. I know the Russians aren't going to help him because Trump is very smart. He went and made friends with the Chinese right before he authorized strikes on Venezuela. He made friends with the Chinese first. He said, yeah, we're going to cut you a great deal. We're going to make tariffs 10%. We're going to buy all your rare earth materials. So he made friends with the Chinese. Good move, right? Art of the deal. Because now he's friends with the Chinese. He can ask the Chinese, don't help Maduro, please. That's our backyard. Maduro is a communist in our hemisphere, causing problems. And Trump is the equalizer. That's the way I can describe it. But the good news is also, once Venezuela becomes a free country, the U.S. Embassy of Venezuela can relocate back to Caracas from Bogota, Colombia. Because right now, the U.S. Embassy personnel that worked in Venezuela are currently working out of offices in Colombia, the U.S. Embassy in Bogota. Once Venezuela becomes a free country and Maduro is either in prison or, cooking marshmallows somewhere in a hot place, the U.S. Embassy in Caracas can reopen, and all those beautiful ladies and gentlemen in Venezuela who are engaged to Americans can start the process for their K-1s in their home country without having to pay an arm and a leg for a bus ride from Caracas to Bogota. Because, that's how they do it. They get on a bus in Caracas, they ride to Cucuta, they get off in Cucuta, they switch buses there, they ride another 15 hours to Bogota. They get to Bogota tired, then they got to spend a week or 2 weeks in Bogota, they got to go to a medical exam. These are Venezuelans trying to get to the United to be in America with their American citizen fiancés. It's a pain in the rear it's very difficult. Okay? Because of one freaking person, Maduro. And once that person is no longer running the place, and the military figure out that he was never on their side anyway, then Venezuela will be a free country. The embassy is going to open up, and Venezuelans can process their K-1 visas from the U.S. Embassy in Caracas. And then hopefully Karina and I can go on a vacation in a couple of years to Venezuela, knowing that I'm not going to get thrown in jail because I'm an American. Right? Okay, guys. I've been talking for almost 50 minutes. I'm going to go and check on the news, see what's going on with Venezuela. You never know what happens minute by minute right now. And I'll be back on Monday. What's today? Saturday? I'll be back Monday on a live stream. And I'll start making some videos for you guys. But I don't know. I think I've pretty much made every kind of video there is to make. I can't think of any other ideas to come up with to make videos about. because I've basically covered every base there is to cover on K1 visas, green cards. So, but I'll see you guys again on Monday. And Francois Livingston, if anybody sees her, let her know that tomorrow I'm going to ship her coffee out to her house in upstate New York. See you guys at the next live stream Monday.